$160 some out of state and $2,900 out of state. Yeah, I was trying to think what we're gonna do with the money. I said throw it away. I did the 3,000 I gave y'all.
Need an authorization for my work classes. Are we good? Got tape? Take good? Thank you. Appreciate your approval.
Oh.
What is on it? You think I'm worried about what anybody thinks about me?
Okay.
I hope.
Don't you care what people think about you? Don't tell him what to do.
That's right. That's what, you see what I mean? He already asked.
We'll call the meeting to order. Welcome all visitors and guests. Thanks for coming. Candidate of the quorum present. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of January 6, 25 minutes.
No motion to approve.
Got motion second, all in favor? Motion carries. Approval of February 3rd board agenda. Anybody want to add to this?
You gonna add something to it or not? Motion to approve.
Got motion second,
Second.
Y'all go ahead.
all in favor? Motion carries. All right. Employee recognition.
Good evening, visitors and co-workers. Thank you for being here tonight. We're thankful that you are here. At this time, I'd like to take a moment and congratulate Mrs. Sherry Raby. She's our Chief Finance Officer. Mrs. Raby has completed a year-long requirement of School Business Academy. It's an extensive amount of training, and at this time, I'd like Miss Sherry to come on up so we can present her with an award.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
You ought to be at the litter holding.
All right, CTE Spotlight.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this awesome opportunity. This is CTE month, and we chose to acknowledge an elite student and a prolific educator on this evening. Anna Rodriguez Hernandez is the daughter of Lucia Hernandez and Teodora Rodriguez, and she has 3 siblings. She was selected as a CTE Presidential Scholar Program nominee for Jones County School District, a testament to her exceptional dedication and leadership in health science. As the current president of the HOSA Club, Future Health Professional Chapter, Anna has demonstrated a strong commitment to both her peers and her future career aspirations. Having completed the health science pathway, she is now further advanced her skills through the Honors Nurse Aid program. She also holds multiple certifications, including Stop the Bleed, CPR, vision screening, and OSHA, all of which highlight her preparedness for a career in healthcare. Her ultimate goal is to join the Navy as a nurse, where she hopes to serve both her country and the global community. She is also a member of the National Honor Society and HDA. In conclusion, Anna shares this quote: "We may all have different religions, different languages, different color skin, but we all belong to one human race," by Khalid Anaya. So at this time, we're going to ask that she will come forward to receive her award.
Whatever your head is, Bryce.
They had me at Navy. I saw Ray get all excited too.
Yeah, I'm sure a few Navy people.
Hey, well, hey, you know,
Oh, they stare.
Sweet.
somebody's got to get a hand-me-downs.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm a star.
I was wondering why you were being so modest.
Now I gotta get a picture somewhere.
Go ahead, Mr. Parker. I don't want to steal you. Anybody else want to jump in this photo?
Yes.
Yeah, you're like a mom. You're like I got called.
All right, we're all smiling. There's only 37 people in the picture.
How many?
Good job, honey. Maybe nurse. Maybe nurse.
Maybe nurse. Swab it.
Whatever. She's a Navy nurse.
And lastly, the CTE Teacher of the Year has over 26 years and 1 month of experience as an educator and 40 years in the Mason industry. During his tenure at Jones County Schools, he taught Masonry 1, 2, and 3, along with core construction. Over the years, he had the privilege of helping many students earn their OSHA certification and achieve credentials for the National Center of Construction, Education, and Research. Beyond the classroom, his students have had many tangible impacts in the community through hands-on projects. He partnered with the Habitat for Humanity on housing projects, laid the first bricks for the monument at the Civic Center, built columns at the Hero Park, and contributed to several other projects within the Jones County school system. He also had the honor of teaching numerous students who competed in regional and local competition, with many placing in the top 3 at both the regional and local level. Teaching is more than just a profession to him. It is his calling, and he truly enjoys it. Year after year, he realized how deeply he has impacted students' lives. He continues to be humbled by the messages that he received from former students, sharing their accomplishments and expressing their gratitude for the role he played in their life. Someone once said, a good education can change anyone. A good teacher can change everything. Thank you to Mr. Willie Blank. At this time, Mr. Blank, what's the media? One, two, three. Thank you, Mr. Blank.
Mr. Blanco, you must have thought this was a big deal. You wore your church jacket.
Hey, got a little
I hear you. I hear you.
Dresses like that all.
I'm just messing with you.
Gotta be a role model.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You're a good one. You're a good one.
You good? You good? Mr. Moss?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Griffin?
Appreciate everybody.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Blanco. My daughter still thinks you're the best too.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
All right. All right, we'll move into our discussion items, athletic and concession. We have Ms. Parker here tonight to speak, but I would like to speak before she get up. And I asked Ms. Whittington to put this on the agenda again. I know we voted a few months ago to allow concession. Been hearing a little bit of grumbling about us allowing middle school to play in the, I don't know what's the middle school or elementary gym. I was going off what Mr. Griffin, Mr. Walson said that school was built for the middle school to host games. We voted to allow that, but it's been some kickback on that. Mr. Whittington and Mr. Marquise to let me know again as we provide this light for the school that I talked about. Sometimes we do got to come back and reassess things, and if we got it wrong, told Mr. Whittington and Mr. White, I'm willing to say we got it wrong and move it back into the gym. But I wanted to hear some legitimate excuses. I mean, I look at safety. Is that a legitimate excuse? Attendance. I mean, we even had smaller gyms that made it work. Safety. If it's a safety issue, or we're going to stop having plays after school projects there too because of these safety concerns. But I wanted to hear some legitimate excuse if we got it wrong to move it back. I do know one for me that's legitimate is the locker rooms. I don't know if y'all are aware of it. Morgan's probably not aware of it. The locker rooms have been turned into an office. Why? I don't know. It was initially built for locker rooms. Now we have a dental program in there that uses the locker room for that. In my opinion, it should have never been turned into it should have been made, if it was a locker room, it should have been a locker room. So kids are not changing in the locker room. They're not. So that is a legitimate excuse. But again, I wanted to see if we get it wrong.
The locker room turned into an office.
Yeah, it's turned
At
into
the
the
old,
ECU,
at the high school gym.
at the middle school, at the new middle school gym, at the Harry Brown gym.
Who did that?
I don't know.
I didn't know nothing about it.
And again, I had to go off y'all expertise. Y'all was here. I don't know what that middle school gym was attending for, or the Harry Brown gym. What was it truly attending? I mean, what it was for?
All right, here, may I?
Yes.
Say, I'm torn between what we were discussing at the last meeting, trying to maybe consider giving the middle school an identity in their own existence, which I think is much needed. They're the middle kids now, and I don't think they're getting enough attention. I'd love to see us, same thing we said at the last meeting. So I'm torn between them having their own place to play, and I also want to take the recommendations of these two people who have to consider, are we able to staff concession stands? Are we able to custodial people, all that kind of thing. They know day-to-day runnings. We don't. And maybe we overspoke on that. But as far as giving the middle school a place to play and an identity, and if I had my way, they'd be the Jones Middle School Hornets, and they'd be back like it used to be in the 70s. But it's not like that. Maybe I'm missing something. But bottom line is we got to go off what they think. They give us recommendations about things, and we accept it all the time. So, but I think they accept our recommendations. So maybe it'll be a give and take.
And that's why, again, I brought it back to see if we got it wrong. And again, they got Ms. Parker here tonight to speak on it. But again, I wanted to hear some, legitimate excuses on why.
If we're pulling too many people's strings at one time, then I understand that. But the staff would know better than what we would. So maybe we went a little hasty on that. But I would also love to see the middle school, establish itself and have its own identity.
Do you want me to come up or can I just?
You come up, please. That's the purpose.
Thank you for letting me come tonight and speak on this issue. It's my first year as athletic director, so I'm still learning the ropes with all of that. But some of the concerns that we've had with using the Harry Brown gym for the middle grades basketball, one is safety. It is very dark. I don't know if you've been to any at-night events at the Harry Brown Gym, but that lobby is very dark. Those lights do not get any brighter than what they are during the day. And it's not a problem during the day because we have all the windows and the light comes in from the sun. So there's plenty of light, but at night it's extremely dark out there. And when I've got $1,000 sitting in one of those bins from a gate and it's that dark out there, I'm concerned for the teachers working those gates and also the people working the concession stand. Another thing is our attendance. I know you mentioned something about them having their own identity, but the middle grades basketball is having a higher attendance right now than high school basketball is. And, when we first went into that building, we were understood it was a 6-12 school, that we were coming together. There was no longer middle and high. It was a 6-12 building. And letting them play in a smaller facility, to me, is not giving them their own identity. This is for you because you're not quite ready for the up here. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I can understand that.
And so I think allowing them to play in the high school gym, so to speak, that recognizes them and their importance, because they're just as important as our high school players are, and they're playing in the better facility, so to speak. Anyway, our attendance, you can see on the sheet of paper that I gave you, we've had 5 home games for the middle grades, and our average attendance is about 99. Our highest attendance was 130. For 5 games, the average ticket revenue was about $788. And we've had some games that were over 1,000, some that were below that, but the average is about $788. And then if you turn on the back, the average ticket revenue for high school for the grades 9-12 with 7 home games was just under $700. Their highest attendance was 125, average attendance is 87. Now, we're already getting more middle school grades 6-8 attendance, and they're packed in that Harry Brown Gym. Like they're packed. And there's not a lot of room in there. And then if you look at our concessions, which I find, Pammy and I were laughing about this before we came over, the middle school concession revenue average is about $423 a night for concessions, and I'm not serving any hot food. They're only $100 less than what the high school is doing in concession revenue, and I'm serving hot food because their attendance is higher. Their games are earlier in the day, so they're ordering more, and they would order more. I mean, they've told me if you had hot dogs here, popcorn here, nachos, we would definitely be, eating from this concession stand. And so I think we're losing out on some revenue. I cannot do hot food in the Harry Brown Gym because there's no running water, no sink. I can't, you have to have that to be able to serve hot food items. And so I can't have that in the Harry Brown concession stand because I've got no way to do that. Locker rooms, you mentioned the locker rooms already. One of the other uses that the locker rooms are being used for is to house clothes for needy students. And, I think that's an important thing to have at our school, but those locker rooms are being used. So our student athletes have to change in the bathroom, and that's home and away, have to change in the bathrooms. Now, if we used the locker rooms as locker rooms, you're still a whole locker room short, because if I have an away and a home using the locker room, where are the boys and girls? The boys can't use that locker room until the girls' game is over, and they have to change and get ready for their game before that game is over. So we're still short because I don't have an away and a home locker room at the Harry Brown Gym. There's just 2 rooms, like 2 side by side. That's all I have. I don't have away and home. Accessibility, if I had all the games in the other gym instead of the Harry Brown Gym, the high school building would be locked down. There wouldn't be access to the building from anywhere else if all the games were held in the one gym. If they're held in the Harry Brown Gym, I have to make sure that everything is locked down. And if they're using the bathrooms on the Trenton Elementary side as bathrooms, they can get into the Trenton Elementary wing as well as other parts of the school. Now, that hasn't happened. We've done a really good job of keeping kids where they are. It's just another concern of mine that the rest of the school could be open to, students or anybody having them in the Harry Brown Gym.
We don't close the gate.
We do close the gate and but there are ways around, around.
There's two entrances to the restroom. One is in the lobby,
Mhm.
and then the back side of the restroom opens up into the wing.
But does
We
it
can't
not have
close the
a
wing?
separate lock where it can be locked? It was supposed to have a lock where it could be locked, where it could not access that wing.
Right.
I mean,
Can't shut those doors.
that was in the design. Now, whether it happened or not, there's several things did.
That, there very well may be a lock on the Trenton wing side. The question I would have is
We can't close the door.
legally, do you have to have 2 points of ingress egress? And if you lock that door and somebody can't get out in the event of an emergency, are you putting yourself in a liability situation?
I don't think so, because they had to fit code. And
Yeah, right.
we put it in. A lot of bathrooms only have one entrance. You go to
I mean, all bathrooms got one.
Walmart, you go to
Yeah.
Walmart, there's only one way in, one way
That's right.
out.
I'm sure.
But again, that's what I was saying about, some legitimate, I mean, I heard you say away and home games. Have you been to Kentucky? Have you been to Rochelle? Have you been one locker room? When the girls come out, we go in. I mean, that's what we do in middle school. I know you're saying given Rochelle's middle school gym is smaller than high school. I mean, I know, I was looking at middle school was growing into the high school. And again, I'm coming in and it was a K through 12 school. So yeah, the middle school lost its identity, but in my mind it didn't. You know what I mean? And that's why, again, I want to make sure we understand that no other gym has 4 locker rooms. I mean, we were talking about middle school.
My concern is the lighting, irregardless of where they play, that lighting needs to be better.
Well, that's, yeah.
I mean, regardless whether we switch them either way.
Well, that's what I was saying about if we hold after school plays there. I mean, they had a Christmas program that night. That lighting.
I don't know how about the gym itself? Is it lit up like it needs to
The gym
be?
inside is fine as far as lighting, that is fine.
Right.
It's that lobby area, between where the guidance
Right.
office is.
Yeah.
That big hallway where the big fan is.
I mean,
Right, yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, but we so,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
yeah, because I asked about the expanding wall that comes out so we could keep everybody in that one place. And I knew that we were adamant about being able to lock the 2 restrooms off the wings. So that would just be that right there, because we also set it for the general public to be able to use. And that way we would keep everybody in one spot. Now, why there's not a something in that concession stand, that little concession stand doesn't have any water, whatever, is there no way to access it for us to get water overhead to maybe drop a sink and drop something?
That would be a Tim question, that's
Right.
beyond my.
Right, well, I'm just asking,
I don't know.
what kind of,
I know it's not very big, I mean, we have a refrigerator in there now, that we keep cold drinks.
who is occupying an office in a locker room?
So it's not an
The
office,
dental
so
was-
what we used to call dental mobile, used to be an outdoor trailer. That entity has moved inside that space, so students are able to be served daily on the campus, be it elementary or high school. The equipment that they would use to clean teeth and all that is in one of the locker rooms.
And you wasn't in there when that decision.
No.
And who made the decision to put the clothes in the locker room too?
Again, that was established when and again, it's quite a bit of stuff. I mean, because you're outfitting or having materials for pre-K up through high school. And so even the lockers inside that space, it's nicely organized. Things are in there, and then even the floor space, like racks to kind of organize book bags and just extra materials, like we call it the clothes closet. That will be useful.
I think that needs to be moved out. If we had to put like a small mobile trailer in the back and store it all something needs to be, we need that. It was built for athletics and community, not, I know we need that, but we need to find some other spot, in my opinion. I'm not against moving anybody where they need to play. Don't let me get it wrong, but we need to get it right. And should have already had it right. We just went to a ceremony today, and here we are.
Again. School and you tell me we ain't got enough lights or the gym is inadequate. Again, it ain't nothing y'all did or whatever.
We don't know about it if we're not right there, and nobody knows exactly what's happening. I don't go to I went to so many games for 20-some years out there that I don't go as much.
Well, I know the locker rooms were not adequate at all that was built in there.
We're not adequate.
No, not for enough for boys and girls. And then you got the opposing team, they should not have to change clothes in a public restaurant. Coach has no way to talk to them. I mean.
Because it's open to the public.
Well, they can't
Yeah.
because the locker room ain't available.
No, even before that though, if I'm not correct,
No, they can't.
the locker rooms are not very big back there, right? And how many is there?
I mean, they all know. I mean,
There's four?
They're adequate rooms too. Only all middle schools have 2 locker rooms. I've been to 4 games this year away, and
Okay,
we share locker room. The girls come out, we go in.
as long as,
Who
they can be
uses- who
secured
uses those
because.
locker rooms? Is it the away team or the home team?
Which one? The way
The
the way
two locker
the
rooms.
way he uses the one that's available. I just keep hearing one is available, and I see the away team going out into the
Okay,
locker
so,
rooms. But
so
they
you're
are
saying
using.
one of them is used.
They're
for
not
home,
using the public.
girls and boys.
They're not using the public bathroom. They're going in the locker room and change.
Right, but that's what I'm trying to understand. So one of them is used for home, boys and girls, they share. And then one is used for boys and girls for away, they share.
The away teams use the locker room by the concession stand.
So is there another set of locker rooms for that the home
home team?
continue when you're there, that they're using to change their gear?
What,
Yeah,
what?
so
Like you said, at home. So what it is, you got a boys and a girls locker room. The boys going in the home locker room. The girls going in the home locker room. We're going in the way. The girls go in there first for their game. We sit out in the gym.
Okay, so that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
one
it's only
of them is
2.
home
Right.
for boys and girls.
Correct.
And
Correct.
then one is
Yeah.
away
Each
for
team
boys and
shares
girls.
a locker.
So at third quarter, we go into the locker room. They out of the locker room. Third quarter, we go into the locker room while the girls are playing. And by the time the fourth quarter comes, we out of it and they go in and change for our games
Where's all their stuff?
in the locker room. But it's Jones
That was
going
a
in there.
problem.
I had all my we lost, most of us, when we were
But
playing
wait,
sports,
but
in the
we're-
locker
we're
room, we
the
lost
same-
all our shoes
Well,
and everything
but
else.
Jones is in the same locker room. The boys and the girls are the same, right?
Yeah.
May I? Y'all make some great points. And that lighting is terrible. Me and you discussed that. If it makes things, my big concern, and I hear it from the public a lot, is that they're Trojans from birth. And we've even changed the middle school back to Gators.
High school, middle, elementary.
I mean, elementary,
Elementary.
my bad, elementary, because of that. So the concern is out there. Now, are we gonna catch a lot of heat if we move it back to the high school gym? Is it gonna, I don't know what to do. I mean, but if it's gonna, y'all have made some great points. You don't have a facility to do it. We don't, and we're getting more numbers. If we're losing money, and we are losing revenue, according to this sheet right here, we need to be in the big gym doing the big thing. Is that gonna wear them out on the high school? We've been in high school for 6 years. If we had our druthers, it's 6 through 12. If
How
we
many-
had
how
our,
many
hold on
games
just
are
a
we
second, if we had our druthers as of last month, we would love to see a middle school faculty with a middle school. That may not ever happen. We were told in that building that won't happen. But I think we'd get better results disciplinary wise and everywhere if we had, and you don't have to say a word, but if we had 2 more administrators there and had an actual middle school. And one of the biggest complaints we get is they're in high school forever. And that seems to be a big complaint amongst some of the parents, not 100%, but there's no, every few years you get a change, you get a new start, you get for that age group, you need that. But if it makes more sense, we can take a little heat in the public. And I think y'all are describing a situation where it would be better on everybody if we did, if we can just suffer through the being treated like, high schoolers and them being the middle kids. I'm really concerned about
I really don't
that.
think that they're treated like high schoolers. They're
Well, their
treated
conception
according to
of-
their age. And that's just like we have 8th grade night, Wednesday night. That's our final home game, by the way. Mr. Griffin, to answer your question. We have one more home game. And so they're getting their 8th grade banners, just like senior banners that the seniors get for their senior night at high. So I've made them, they're not as big, they're 11 by 14, little poster size, but they get all that recognition just like the high schoolers get. So we're making a point to delineate between the two, but I also think when you're limiting them to what they can, like concession wise and all of that, why can't I have popcorn at my game? The high school has popcorn at their game. Why can't I have this at my game? And am I not, important enough to warrant cooking hot dogs for it? And so when you're looking at those kind of things, I'm just not able to do for them right now what I do for the high school.
Gotcha.
For grades 9, 12.
But,
And if, you know, if we decide that we're gonna clean out those 2 locker rooms and we're gonna find spaces for all this other stuff, which, you know, we can do, I can stay in, you know, that Harry Brown gym. I just think we're not doing these kids a service. That they're just not getting all that they could.
But I would have to disagree. They're one of the nicest gyms. You ever been to Woodington Gym? I mean, have you been to, I mean, they're the nicest, I mean, we're talking about, you tell me they're been, I mean, that Harry Brown, we hold graduation in the Harry Brown Gym for seniors. You know what I mean? Instead of the high school, they got one of the nicest gyms, and I do think that in the middle school, you do get less. I mean, again, go to the away game, Matt, and guess what? You're only gonna get M&Ms and sodas. You know what I mean? And then when you get to the high school, that's when the concessions change. But, you know, I appreciate all of this. And again, if we got it wrong, we're going back into the, it's my vote, into the high school jail.
And I'm just asking you to take it under consideration and just, you know, all the points that we made, just think about it.
Yeah. But again, I'm glad y'all came to open the board eyes up to my frustration with that new high school. I truly appreciate y'all coming. You know, lightning. I mean, we built a $50 million school you can't see in there. I mean, so I appreciate it.
Well,
I
you've
mean,
been in there tonight. It's pretty dark.
I mean, we built a $50 million school, state of the art, and the concession stand just can't hold a refrigerator in. Right? Right? I mean,
I can do it. Yeah, we've had it ordered, and we've got one little table in there to hold like the candy and stuff. So my plan was over the summer was to have Mr. Taylor build me some cabinets so I can have storage in there if nothing else.
So don't think I'm against it.
Consider, and I haven't spoke on it because, like I said, I want experience in doing something before I come and ask for anything. I'd like you to think about baseball and softball as well.
We go back to those fields, right?
That's what I was told, that we would go back to the old fields. I'd like you to consider letting them play in the new ones, middle school as well.
Why you build a new field, Billy?
The old fields can be used for practice. They're also used for the rec department, things like that. So they're used. They can be used for practice and rec, so we can have both middle school and high school practices going on. But the way our games are scheduled, I'd really like, while you're considering this, to also consider letting the middle schoolers play at the new fields. Again, nicer facility. Bathrooms are much nicer than they are in that old concession stand area. I don't know if you've ever had to go to the bathroom at a baseball game, but whew, they're nicer in the new building. So I just like you to consider that as well. While I'm asking for stuff.
We'll need a workshop. It's gotta be a lot of discussion.
Yeah. I mean, you got to understand his standpoint when he was chair. He kind of said, we're going to build these for the high school and middle school. And now
I wasn't the only one.
I mean, I know.
I wasn't the only one saying this. I'm just saying that we need a workshop to try to work all this out. If we need to temporarily do something, to move something, to correct something, I have no problem with that at all.
Yeah. But the middle school ain't got one more game.
So it's a problem for
This
next
would be for
season.
next year, so it's not like I need an immediate answer. This would just be something I want you to consider moving forward after this season.
So the room that's right beside the concession stand, what is
The dental lab.
That's the dental lab.
well, the dental lab needs to go and let's knock out that wall for the concession stand to be bigger and you can serve more.
Well, the dental lab is gonna be the
What's
locker
in
room.
the dental lab?
The dental lab is the locker room.
What kind of stuff, what kind of, is there
It's a
anything in there other than
locker
this
room.
wall and
I
the lab?
know.
Sorry, Tiffany.
I said, what's in the dental lab itself, in the dental room or whatever? Is there anything in there other than just a wall?
Chair, there's equipment that they use to clean the teeth. It's set up just like a dentist office.
It's got water?
It has to.
Yeah.
All right, so there's your problem with the sink.
How's it got water? It got water.
Has to if it's a dental.
If you got, you're right there with
Well,
water,
some
then,
other
so you
thing-
just gotta do, you can tap in and even.
Some of them have,
even-
some of them do have mobile,
That wall
containers.
needs to
That's what I bet you it is. It's
get a
got
door
mobile.
through there.
But did I hear you say that it used to be a dental bus there?
I don't know if there's that physical. I'm accustomed to the buses that go through the school and
That's
stay
right.
on your property.
The smile mobile.
There it is, Smileville. That's what I'm accustomed to. So the old school Smileville has come inside the building, which again, it is convenient for
I got
to
you.
serve
I
our
got you.
students. However, that is a space that is occupied and we can be using.
That should be used for gym purposes to me.
Cause look, well, I guess the kids don't change in gym because it's elementary, right? Middle school gym, yeah.
Right. And that's, yeah, Trent Elementary uses
I got you.
that gym.
Right now, our girls are changing in the bathroom, but they're using the stage as the locker room. And our boys are using the storage closet on the left as a locker room, like at halftime.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what they're doing, but they're still changing in the bathrooms.
And the opposing team's changing where?
In the bathrooms.
Ooh.
That's all we have.
I thought they was changing the locker room.
And I do think the clothes closet, we tidied up and moved some things
I
out.
think they do
So
change
they
in
have
that
gone into the clothes closet space.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, that's what I call it.
Imagine us playing Pamlico and changing in the same room. Oh, no.
This is
But
crazy.
again,
So if nothing else, it's definitely some points to ponder that we can revisit. We have some time for next year, but hopefully, we ask you to just consider our perspective, and follow up with us, let us know what our next steps can be as we plan for next season.
I think we also need some guidance on middle school softball, baseball. Are they gonna play it? Middle school gonna play on the rec fields, or is middle school gonna play on the high school fields? Because the season starts
but we
A
never,
couple weeks.
Yeah.
but we never changed that though. I mean, we never voted nay or yay on
No,
that.
I know there was no vote, but there was conversation, so I just.
There are no actions
Right.
taken. We're
So we
taking
can
that.
play on the. All right.
No action.
That's all I need to hear. Yeah, that's all I need to hear. We're good on that one then.
Yeah, I know.
Just to clarify, we do need a dental program.
Yeah,
I didn't mean to give it away,
Yes.
no, but
Yes.
if that is, supposed to be athletic area,
I always buy old school bus
Yeah.
and refit it to a first automobile.
it should be
Take it
athletic.
to all the elementary schools.
But yeah, we need the dental.
Yes, and I said, that's what you keep telling me. It is utilized a lot
Yes.
by our families. and that
Broken
is
record,
something-
Sharon, it's right here.
Yeah, she's in the building a lot. It is
Yeah, I mean,
utilized greatly by our families. So that is something that, yes,
Yeah, I don't.
yes, it is a great.
You know, we
reason.
definitely have, we don't want to get rid of it.
The
Yes.
convenience of it all for our kids.
Yeah, that's my reason for our request.
Mr. Watson, you good?
Yes,
Mr. Griffin, you
thank
good?
y'all.
For the time being,
Thank you for hearing us, I
for the
appreciate it.
time being.
Ms. Fair, you good?
Yeah.
I just got a question.
Go ahead. She got a
How
question.
many,
She got a question.
Oh, sorry.
So we have football, correct? We have football,
Yes, we have a.
middle school and high school.
Yes,
How many fields do we have? They share the same field?
yes,
They share the same locker rooms?
yes.
Share the same bathrooms? Concession stand? Softball, baseball,
And we have 4 fields.
4 fields.
Mhm.
So basketball, we have,
2 G's.
Access to 2 gyms.
that's all I have.
But again, thank you. I mean, I'm glad, I want the board to open up the eyes to some of these issues that we'll have, but
One
I
more
really
thing.
appreciate it.
The parking, when I've been by there, it's not very well lit. It's kind of dark. So I don't feel
Where the
like,
lights turn out.
Yeah, those
The only-
come out, when there's
When you
just
walk
one, they
out,
come
once you
on.
walk out, there, it'll light up, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, he just repaired the tennis.
Oh, you
And
talking
the
about that
track.
new
in the
gym?
parking lot.
And new gym.
Yeah.
They've just got those lights back up, correct? Because they were out.
They were
Right,
out.
they were out.
Yeah, so now they should be turned on during home games.
yeah, and I've asked Tim to check on, because we got track
Yeah.
season coming up. That track is what
Yeah,
I'm not sure all that is.
And we have
Oh,
one
you don't
track
have to, but I always
for
did.
both. And one tennis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. Thank you, Ms. Reese.
Department update. Mr. Marquis.
Board members, I've shared with you the department update. A couple of items that are not in the department updates that I do think it's important for you to know and for our community to know. A couple weeks ago, we had severe weather impact Jones County and Jones County Public Schools with a plethora of snow. During that time, there are folks and some of our employees that are working as hard, if not harder, while the snow is on the ground. And one of those is Tim Morton. During the weather events each day, Tim Morton did an assessment of each building, the HVAC systems and parking lots of each school site. Also, Miss Lisa Morton in child nutrition. She was tracking food supply deliveries. And she was up here at the central office, making sure if we were able to come back to school, that there would be breakfast and lunch ready no matter what when our kids came back. So when you have the opportunity to see them, tell them thank you. When some of the kids were having snow days, they were working just as hard as normal.
Mr. Ross, any questions?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Griffin? Mr. Young?
No.
Ms. Bird? Superintendent update.
As noted earlier in the meeting, we are excited and thankful that we have Ms. Sherry Raby. She did complete the North Carolina School of Business Academy. And Ms. Sherry, once again, thank you for doing that. We're glad you're on our team. Our district has submitted a Purple Star application to honor our military families. This would be the 3rd consecutive year. As of last week, roughly over 10% of our families are affiliated with some type of military branch, and that has increased about 1.5% over the last 2 years, which is a good thing. NC Education Lottery, thank you to board member Debbie Filia for making a network connection with the state lottery this past week. Lottery officials brought school supplies that we were able to donate to each of our elementary schools. Our principals were extremely grateful, and they were a pleasure to work with when the lottery official came. So, board member Filia, thank you very much.
We want to thank Billy for helping with the lottery, all he does. Thank you.
Thank you too, Mr.
Mighty contribution.
Another highlight is Ruby Ward, Jones senior student, has applied to be a house page at the Capitol for Mr. Chris Humphrey. Mr. Humphrey's excited about her application. Ruby Ward went to school at Maysville Elementary, and now she's applied, and we should find out the status on her application within the next 2 weeks. That would be the 2nd consecutive year Jones Senior High School had a house page represented at the Capitol.
That's good.
Looking ahead, February is CTE month. There's quite a few events going on in February. One week from tomorrow is actually the career fair at Jones Senior High School, and that starts at 11 a.m. That's in the new gym. I know Mr. Sutton and Mrs. Lee have contacted many employers to make sure that they can showcase career opportunities for our students. So the gym should be pretty packed. It's always a fun event to come and check out. Next Thursday evening, DKG is doing soup and supper for scholarships. That's from 6 to 8 p.m. All money raised goes for scholarships for Jones County Public School students, which is a real blessing. End of the month, February 21st, the traditional and annual FFA Oyster Roast. That's at 6 p.m. at Jones Senior High School. I know that's an event that many folks look forward to, and a lot of our community members participate in. So I just wanted to make sure that our community and our board members were made aware.
Ms. Bird, any comments? Ms. Fiala?
The PKG is at the high school.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the Super Bowls, right?
Yeah. Mr. Griffin? Mr. Ross? Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Action item A, budget amendment number 5, Ms. Raby.
Good evening, board members. I presented to you budget amendment number 5, and budget amendment number 5 has a net increase of about $755,000 from the last budget amendment that was requested at the last meeting. And this adjustment is due to some increase in funding that we received from both from Fund 1, Fund 3, and Fund 8. From Fund 1, which is our state funding, we received an increase of $52,000. And that was a combination of additional funding that we received for our summer reading program, PRCO 16. And we also received funding from the state for our 3rd grade teacher bonus and our principal and teacher performance bonuses for this year. For Fund 3, we received an increase of $675,000. And this was just the recording of our PRC 145, which is our Stronger Connections grant. We have been anticipating those funds from the beginning of the year, and we just received those funds this past month. And then we received an additional small increment in our PRC 017, which is our CTE funding. And then our Fund 8 increased about $26,000, and that was just additional funding we received for our Medicaid program, and also additional funding received by the high school for the Bates grant. So in total, we have a net increase of $754,815.40. And I'm requesting that the board approve this budget amendment. If anyone has any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve it. If you don't have any questions.
Got a motion? Got a second? All in favor? Motion carried. Audit contract.
Yes, sir. We are preparing to enter into our audit for fiscal year 2025. Of course, the fiscal year ends in June, but our auditors will be prepared to start our compliance audit, and that occurs as early as April, where they're looking at our federal funding and making sure that we're compliant in those areas. So the contract that they provided for this year is approximately $1,000 more estimated costs over the last year. And so I'm requesting that the board consider and approve us entering into this contract with the auditors for a estimated cost not to exceed $34,500.
And how much was it last year?
Last year, the estimated cost was $33,500. We actually only spent $32,000, a little over $32,000.
Motion.
So moved.
Got a motion second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Motion carries. Thank you. Public comment.
Mr. Chairman, we have one resident here, Ms. Brittany Meadows of Maysville, to speak on the child situation.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brittany Meadows, and I'm kind of a visual, so I want to paint a picture for you real quick. So imagine, coming home after a trying day at work, right? Going to your umpteenth basketball game of the season. Go pick your youngest child up. You're just trying to get in the bed, right? And prepare for work the next day. And your baby comes and sits down beside you and say, Mommy or Daddy, I have something to tell you. And your ears perk up and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Something happened at school today. Oh my God. Right? So she proceeds to tell you about an adult at school that took her stuff and made her cry. You're like, oh no, that cannot be right. You just want to listen to the story. Now it's 11:45 at night. Okay? And she's crying from what happened earlier that day at lunch. It's like, okay. So she's telling me about the situation from what I teach my children at home. Don't let other people touch your stuff, especially anything that you're going to ingest. It's cold and flu season, okay? And it runs rampant in schools, as one can imagine. An adult, took her stuff, they put it on, and they act like they was gonna drink out of it, and she didn't drink nothing because she was like, Mommy, I don't know if you drunk out of it or not. And then he yelled at me. And then I asked the principal to help, and she's like, she's doing something. The counselor was there, and she did nothing. And I'm like, what is going on? Because my baby is sweet. And I know most of you in this room don't know her. Those that's looking online, you may not know her. But my baby, she's not like me. She is uber sweet. And of course, I do my part as a parent. I go out to the school and have a conference with the principal. And and bring in, you know, the person that this happened with. And for them to say, oh, well, she said something nasty, mean, and hateful, that's not my baby. And something had to transpire before, if she did, because, you know, you can't put nothing past nobody, man, woman, or child. Something had to transpire before that. So I know my time is running out. I just want to say, for those that's listening at home and to everyone in here, check on your kids, because you never know. Fortunately for my baby, she came to me, it was late at night, and it was still on her. You know, and she was, Mommy, do they not like me at school? I don't want my baby to go to school and be able to go to a welcoming environment and be able to learn. You know? So that's all I have to say. I know my time ran out. But for parents at home, check on your kids. We never know what they're going through at home, and do your part. As parents, be involved, show up to the meetings, and have conversations if you have to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
No, sir.
Board member comment, Mr. Watson.
No, sir. I'm good.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I'm still concerned about some stuff with what's happening at the school that's not intended to be and all this other stuff. But maybe we can get it worked out between now and whenever. That's all.
No.
What school was your child go to? David Elementary.
The only thing I have is, the Beta Club. A friend of mine, her son is in the Beta Club, and she posted a video of their performance in Greensboro on Sunday. These kids were singing, and they had rewrote a song. It was phenomenal. I told Bryce I want to see them at some event for us and have them perform that for us, because it was awesome. There's something else. Let's see. And of course, hopefully we can work out that gym situation. And I want to say, remember to pray for the family of Mr. Charles Jones. And I'm thankful that our students were able to meet him and share some history with them about Jones County last year. So
That was his son.
was his son? Yeah. Okay. So, but anyway, the family, and just be in prayer for them. And that's all I have.
Good. Only thing I have, I want to thank Ms. for y'all for going to represent the school board at the joint meeting. Thanks for taking time out for that. I will. Good. All right. That's it. We're going to closed session to discuss personnel.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
General statute 143, 18,
Dash 5,
11,
section
81,
4,
85,
paragraph 5.
86, prevent disclosure confidential personal information.
So moved.
312. Except with board attorney serve, attorney Cotter, pursuant to 143, 318, 1183.
So moved.
Oh,
Motion made by Mr. Griffin,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Larry.
Mr. Watson.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Negative.
Any opposed?
Negative.
We're now into closed session.
We've been in that school now, what, 6 years?
6 years.